But at the very moment when the stars were promising the end of cancer, the cell biologists realized there was something seriously wrong with their science. And the reason was Henrietta Lacks and her cells. It began when a scientist called Stanley Gartler examined many of the major cell lines. He discovered that all of them secreted the same form of enzyme. It was a type found only in black people. The problem was that all the cell lines he looked at came from whites. The only black cell line was Henrietta Lacks. At a packed meeting of cell biologists, Gartler announced the inescapable conclusion.
He told them, folks, cell lines that are presumably derived from other tissues in different individuals are not such. These are cells from Henrietta Lacks. And it was very embarrassing, and it was very shocking to many people, and there was a great alarum. We began to probe and to investigate, purposely looking, not necessarily purposely looking for a mistake, but wanting to know the details of individual cells.
And what did you begin to find?
And what we began to find was that many of these cell lines, I mean, eventually over 100 cell lines were alike, and were alike to HeLa.
Nelson Rees discovered that HeLa had a power unlike any other cell line. If just one HeLa cell was dropped by mistake into another culture, or blown across the laboratory by a current of air, this cell would begin to grow and multiply faster than its host. Why is she so powerful?
That I can't answer. One just simply does not know what the constitution is of HeLa cells. One does not know what the constitution is, why it is that in spite of insults, human insults, insults in culture, temperature changes, letting them lie overnight on the counter without being incubated, there'll always be a HeLa cell growing.
In November 1972, an American delegation of scientists visited Moscow. The Russians told them that they had found the human cancer virus in 5 different cell lines. It was the breakthrough.
And sooner than not, the results came back, and all of these cell lines had type AG6BD, which meant to us that they were derived from black individuals, probably from 20% of a black population. Now, I knew about Lumumba University. I knew that there was a large contingent of African blacks in Moscow. But you know, I just thought there's something fishy here. It just can't be.
So Nelson Rees examined the chromosomes of the Russian cells. He found they were all identical to HeLa. It meant only one thing. Somehow, some of Henrietta Lacks' cells had got through the Iron Curtain. Why is she so powerful?
That I can't answer. One just simply does not know what the constitution is of HeLa cells. One does not know what the constitution is, why it is that in spite of insults, human insults, insults in culture, temperature changes, letting them lie overnight on the counter without being incubated, there'll always be a HeLa cell growing.
And on behalf of the citizens of Atlanta, hereby proclaim October 11th as Henrietta Lacks Day in our city.
Could you give us some response on your emotional comments at this time?
Well, I think I was part of a miracle because when she was pregnant with me, she was dying of cancer.